What's up YouTube, this is URC Shadow, and today we're going to be looking at Ron's level 55 mission, Wet Work. Now for completing this mission you'll get $10,500 along with 2,800 RP, and in this video we're going to pick apart the strategy to look at each stage, which one's the best one to use, and maybe show you something you haven't thought of doing yet, or give you inspiration for your own strategy. If you want to cut the foreplay, then an annotation's on the screen to go straight to the speed run, which will show you the fastest way I can think of to do it. Otherwise, feel free to stick with me as we go through the strategy bit by bit over the next 9 or 10 minutes. So, this mission takes place in the top half of the map. Now this mission doesn't have its own spawning point, so you'll start the mission wherever you were currently on the map at the time. Therefore, the first thing you're going to do is get to this pier over here. We're going to steal the boat that's at the end of the pier. And we're going to get it to the meth lab in the Alamo Sea by heading upriver. Once we get to the meth lab, we're going to drop off the boat and then eliminate anyone we can find there. So, let's look at stage 1. Once you arrive at the starting point, this is generally the angle you're going to be coming from. At the end of the pier is a boat that we need to steal. And resistance wise, we're looking at one guy up on the cliff, 3 guys at the end of the pier, another 3 guys slightly closer, another 2 guys slightly closer than that, and then 3 individual guys dotted around the building towards the shore. So our first option is going to be to drive down the dirt road and take out the enemies from the cliff top using a combination of a bullpup rifle and a sniper rifle. Second approach could be to go onto this adjacent hill and use a sniper rifle to take out people. That is going to be a slower tactic, but at least it's a bit safer. You can still be hit though. And that takes care of the obvious strategies. Another 2 strategies I can think of. First one is to grab a buzzard and to parachute directly down onto the boat, steal it and try not to get shot as you make a getaway. The second one is even a ballsier move. Using a Cargobob, you're going to try and pick up the boat and get away with it before the enemies take you down. So let's look at the easy ones first. We'll approach by the dirt road and we'll take out the guy on the cliff top. And after that it's going to be a case of using a combination of the bullpup rifle and the sniper rifle, taking out the guys on the pier. Now you want to expose yourself to as few enemies as possible whilst you're doing this, so my general advice would be to snipe the people at the end of the pier first and then work your way back to the shore, exposing yourself over the cliff top as you run out of enemies to view and have to work your way close to the shore. Once you've cleared all the enemies on the pier, it's just a simple case of running down to the end of the pier and jumping in the boat. Okay, so the second strategy, sniping. We're going to jump in our car and we're going to drive onto the adjacent headland. Park our car and then probably get behind it so we've got some cover. And starting with the guy on the cliff, we're going to take him out first as he's the biggest threat to us. And then we're going to work our way down the pier, sniping as we go. This option is safer obviously than trying to do a straight on attack. You can still be hit by their bullets, so you aren't completely invincible. And you might get a little bit frustrated with guys hiding behind the crates and boxes. As you've probably guessed, it's simply going to be a case of waiting for them to pop out of cover before you can take them out. Once you have taken them all out, you're going to jump in your car, drive along to the cliff, get out, run down the stairs, along the pier, to the boat, to the next stage of the mission. Okay, so the first of the 2 ballsy options. First one, parachuting from a Buzzard. To do this, obviously you're going to need a Buzzard, so you can either grab a Buzzard and hover in the place you want to parachute from before you start the mission, or once you've started the mission, you can grab a Buzzard in the normal way. Usually the boat has a roof which offers you a certain level of protection from the enemies. When you pull away from the pier, it's a good idea to head left a bit, just to use the side of the boat as cover, otherwise you're going to get shot in the back so many times you'll probably die. Okay, and the final ballsy move, Cargobob. Now because you're going to want to use the helicopter in the mission, you're going to have to call it once you're in the mission. You're going to want to approach at a low altitude with your grapple hook down. Come in slow using the right stick to line up with the camera. Make sure you're going to latch onto the boat as you go past. Hook it, and then get the hell out of there before they do enough damage to your Cargobob. This is pretty risky because whilst you're bulletproof in the cockpit of the Cargobob itself is actually quite delicate, and it doesn't take a lot of bullets from the enemy fire to take it down. Okay, so stage 2 of the mission. We're going to want to take our boat, however we've stolen it, and get it to the meth lab in the Alamo Sea. To do that, we're going to have to go through this canyon, and we're going to come under a lot of enemy fire whilst we're there. So assuming we stole the boat in the normal way, we're going to head into the canyon. Try not to hit the rocks too much, as they can do a bit of damage to you. And there isn't much option here other than to make sure you don't crash, stay in the middle of the river as much as possible, and try to avoid enemy fire. If you find you're taking too much damage, you can pull out your armor or health packs using the select button to keep you alive until the end of the river. Now there are certain points in the river when you're going to want to slow down, particularly the 2 waterfalls. The first one here, if you take it too hard, you'll launch into the air and hit that bridge. You'll get spun around, you'll get shot, it's just not worth it. Slow down a little bit before you hit that waterfall to avoid any risk of failing the mission. Again here, this is a very tight waterfall with a curve in it. You're going to want to slow down a bit and not take it full speed. And again, once you're out, put your foot down again to avoid taking enemy fire. After that, you should be into the relative safety of the lake. You know, make your way to the pier where you want to deliver the boat, and slow down before you get to the drop-off point. Otherwise, you'll go steaming through it and have to come back again. Okay, so assuming you use the Cargobob to steal the boat, there isn't that much to it. You want to follow the river again, add a bit of a height to avoid taking the gunfire, but you don't want to try going over the mountains because this boat does weigh down your Cargobob. You could try taking the mountains, but I wouldn't advise it if you took some damage on your Cargobob. If you're starting to smoke, you probably won't make it to the lake before your engines die, and at some point you're going to want to bail out, drop the boat into the river, and try and salvage the mission. Once you're at the pier, drop the boat. It won't actually class as being delivered until you're actually in the boat, so you're going to have to mess around getting out the Cargobob and get back into the boat, drive it about a foot into the yellow marker before jumping out again. And then we're on to the final stage of the mission, clearing out the meth lab of any enemies. So first you're going to want to get up these steps, and it is a bit fiddly. Once you're onto the pier, you're going to want to get behind this wooden crate, let the enemies start making their way to you. Once a few of them are down the steps, open fire using target cycling to take a load of them down, duck back and cover, reload, wait for some more, then pop out again. Once you've only got 2 or 3 enemy blips left on your map, it's time to push forward. Work your way past the crate, run up the pier, get up the steps, take out any injured guys that happen to be on the floor. There's only really 2 guys left. One's going to be behind this mound here, and the other is going to be behind this house here. Once you've taken him down, it's mission over, and it's time to get paid. Well, cheers guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and feel free to check out my other videos, speedruns, mission strategy guides, and loads of tips and tricks videos, such as combat rolling, target cycling, and vehicle weak points. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.